Family, welcome back to the Royal Sussex Squad, your #1 spot for truth, clarity and celebration of our Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And let me tell you, today's so-called exclusive from the Daily Mail is one for the books. You couldn't make this stuff up. Except, of course, they did. They're out here spinning fantasies about King Charles allegedly offering Harry and Meghan a royal property for their return to the UK. Now let's pause here. First of all, the sheer absurdity of this claim is mind-blowing. The British press knows full well that Harry has said over and over again, crystal clear, that he is not moving back to the UK. His life, his family, his happiness, his peace, it's all in California. He and Meghan built a home in Montecito, and no tabloid fantasy is going to undo that. But here comes the Daily Mail trying to stir the pot, trying to play games with people's emotions, and trying to make William squirm in his gilded cage. Because make no mistake, this isn't about Harry and Meghan at all. This is about William. The media knows William is paranoid. They know he's insecure. And they love dangling the spectre of Sussex return over his head like a sword. They whisper it just loud enough so that William can hear it, and then they sit back and watch the meltdown. It's diabolical, but it's also telling, because they know that Harry and Meghan are the power players, not William and Kate. Let's get into the heart of this nonsense. According to the article, Harry supposedly told his father that he'd love to spend more time in the UK, maybe every few months in 2026. Okay, let's take that at face value. That doesn't mean moving back. That doesn't mean crawling into the gilded cage he escaped from. That means visiting family, perhaps maintaining a relationship with his father, and ensuring Archie and Lilibet know their grandfather. That's not shocking. It's normal. But the media wants to twist it into some kind of desperate return to the institution. Harry himself has made it clear. There is no move back into the royal machine. None. He has said it again and again. He's happy where he is. Meghan is happy where she is. The kids are thriving. That's what matters. But the Daily Mail couldn't care less about truth. They want drama. So they invent this fantasy where King Charles is dangling keys to some empty royal property, as though that will lure Harry back into the fold. And here's where the hypocrisy really shows. Remember Frogmore Cottage? The home that Harry and Meghan poured their own money into, renovated, made livable? That home was snatched away from them in a fit of petty spite by King Charles. And now, after pushing them out, after stripping them of the one safe base they had in the UK, suddenly we're meant to believe Charles is generously offering them another property. Give me a break. You can't evict someone and then claim you're the benevolent father offering them shelter. That's not compassion, that's control, that's manipulation. And of course, this so-called offer comes with strings attached. The article makes it clear. Harry can't be half in, half out. Charles is absolutely clear about that. So what is this really about? It's about control. They want Harry to come back, but only on their terms. They want to hold a property over his head as a leash, not as a gift. But Harry has been through too much, fought too hard for his independence to fall for that trick again. And then, as always, they drag Meghan into it. The article says Meghan would need convincing, and that she'd probably prefer the Cotswolds away from royal eyes. First of all, why are they speaking for Meghan? Why are they pretending to know her preferences? It's the same old misogynoir narrative, painting Meghan as the outsider, the one who resists, the one who refuses. When the truth is, Meghan doesn't need convincing because she already has her life. She has her community, her work, her children, her peace. She doesn't need to be brought back to the UK like some pawn on a chessboard. What's really happening here is projection. The Daily Mail and their royal sources can't admit that Meghan has zero interest in coming back to the toxicity of the British media and royal family politics. So instead, they spin it as, oh, Meghan's reluctant, Meghan's difficult, Meghan's not supportive. No, Meghan is simply smart enough to protect her peace and her children. And Harry supports her in that. That's called partnership, that's called love, that's called putting family first. Now let's talk about security, because this is the heart of the issue. The Daily Mail admits that if Harry stays at a royal property, security would be reinstated. And isn't that interesting? When Harry and Meghan requested proper security as international targets, as people facing serious threats, they were denied. They were told no. They were stripped of taxpayer-funded protection, even though Harry was born into this institution and remains a high-value target. But suddenly, if he stays under Charles's roof, the security magically reappears. That right there tells you everything. Security isn't about logistics, it's about control. If you stay in their palace, you get protection. If you choose independence, you're punished. That's coercion. And Harry has fought long and hard to protect his family from that exact trap. Let's not forget, Charles evicted them from Frogmore out of pure spite, timed right after Spare was released. That was punishment, not practicality. And yet now the press wants us to believe Charles is generously offering them another place, please. This is nothing but a PR stunt designed to make Charles look like the forgiving father while painting Harry and Meghan as ungrateful if they say no. It's a game, and we see right through it. Family, what we're witnessing here is the British media once again trying to control the narrative. They know Harry is happy in California. They know Meghan has no reason to return. But they can't let go of the fantasy because the idea of Sussex independence terrifies them. It threatens the monarchy's very image. Because if Harry and Meghan can thrive outside the system, then what does that say about the system itself? That's the question they don't want asked. So instead, they cook up these wild stories about royal properties, about reluctant duchesses, about Charles, the benevolent father. It's fiction dressed up as fact, and it's meant to keep readers addicted to the soap opera. But we, the Sussex Squad, we know the truth. Harry and Meghan are thriving. They have their home, their family, their freedom, and no palace keys, no empty estate, no desperate tabloid fantasy is going to change that. And let me just end on this. We should all pay attention to how William is being played here. The press is using Harry and Meghan as a weapon against him. Every time they dangle the idea of Sussex return, it exposes William's paranoia. It exposes his weakness. And they know it. That's why they keep doing it. William is supposed to be the future king. Yet the press constantly reminds him that Harry is the real story. Meghan is the real star. And the Sussexes are the ones people care about. That's the truth they can't bury, no matter how many fake exclusives they print. So family, what do you think? Is this latest Daily Mail fantasy the wildest one yet? Do you see the manipulation behind it? And do you think Harry and Meghan will ever entertain these so-called offers, or do you agree with me that they're perfectly happy right where they are? Mail. King Charles should give the Sussexes a royal property when they return. This is one of the craziest Daily Mail exclusives, so it feels fitting that this will lead us into yet another weekend full of paranoid Prince William's unhinged briefings. You have to admit that the British media is really toying with William in particular. They enjoy having something to hold over his head, which is the spectre of the Sussexes' potential return to the UK. Just so we're clear, Harry has said many, many times that he has no plan to relocate back to the UK. He is happy in his California mansion with 894 bathrooms. But Harry really does plan to visit the UK, and those tentative plans to visit have led the Daily Mail to speculate about where will the Sussexes live when they're in the UK. Prince Harry would love to spend more time in the UK going forward and has told his delighted father it could even be every few months in 2026. It emerged today. But the Duke of Sussex insists that he will never move back to Britain because he's genuinely very happy in California. In response, King Charles is said to have been absolutely clear that his youngest son cannot be a half-in, half-out working royal. And Harry is said to swear blind that there is no move being made to be back in the institution. The monarch desperately wants a relationship with his youngest son, and especially his grandchildren Lilibet and Archie, with insiders claiming Charles may even be willing to offer the Sussexes their own pied-à-terre in Britain. There are plenty of empty properties on the estate. The royal family is not exactly short of accommodation at the moment, but I don't think being next door to William and Kate would go down too well, a well-connected source told the Daily Mail. Whether Meghan would come appears much less likely. And if she did, the Duchess would probably prefer a place in the celeb-heavy Cotswolds as their UK base, away from royal eyes, it is said. An insider said of Meghan, "I'd say the Cotswolds would be somewhere they might look, if they were thinking about a home outside the royal estate. Harry is said to swear blind that there is no move being made by him to be back in the institution. His wife and kids are there, his life is there, a Sussex insider has claimed when asked about leaving Montecito. Harry's father will likely have told him that if he stays at a royal palace, such Kensington Palace or Windsor Castle, they will be automatically guarded by armed officers, including at Frogmore Cottage. If Charles formally invites the Sussexes to stay with him, armed taxpayer-funded security will likely be reinstated from the moment they land, because they would be his guests, multiple security sources have said. And Harry might be tempted to stay at a royal home as long as he manages to avoid his brother and sister-in-law, the source added. Security is obviously still a big issue for the Sussexes, so stays within the occupied royal palace's estate would make sense, because then they would be within the security perimeter, they said. The Daily Mail's source has claimed that Meghan would need a great deal of convincing, and she is known to love the Cotswolds, having spent time there after moving to the UK when she became engaged to Harry. Wow, royal insiders already have the Sussexes moving back to the UK and staying on a royal estate. Or rather, they have Harry claiming a base on a royal estate while everyone agrees to send Meghan to the Cotswolds naturally. Absolutely delusional. I will say this, though. I found it interesting that for Harry's visit to the UK a few weeks ago, there was no conversation, that I saw, of where he was staying. Did he stay in hotels, or did his father allow Harry and his security team to stay at a royal property? Anyway, no, none of this is happening. Maintaining any kind of residence in the UK was over for the Sussexes the moment Charles evicted them from Frogmore Cottage out of spite. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have the conversation. And if you love how we break down these messy stories and expose the games being played, make sure you're subscribed to the Royal Sussex Squad. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. And if you'd like to support the channel and keep us growing, please consider dropping a super thanks. It really helps us keep shining the light of truth and celebrating Harry and Meghan the way they deserve. Until next time, family, stay strong, stay positive, and keep supporting our Duke and Duchess. The Sussex Squad is global and we are not letting the media spin win.